5, 4. Oh, it's already been started. Anyways, what's up, y'all? Y'all, I do that because I just have to laugh at myself, and I just have to start off the videos, you know, in a funny, weird, quirky way. And that's just me. That's just who I am. If you really want to know me, get to know me, understand the different layers of me, because that's one thing about this video, and that is why I'm creating this video, because there's many layers about myself. For instance, I'm that ancient chick, okay? I'm here to share some wisdom and shit. Yes, wisdom and shit, okay? And for me, wisdom and shit is just a bunch of things, because we can look at wisdom as you know, a beautiful way of explaining certain stories. But we can look at, you know, the pile of shit, right, that comes out of us. But it's like that shit right there, that used to be food, okay? That used to look super pretty, okay? But it don't no more. And that's why I say wisdom and shit. And I call myself that ancient chick because I feel I do have a lot of ancient wisdom. And this is just due to a lot of my experiences that I've gone through, a lot of my adventures that I've had throughout this lifetime. And I'm talking this lifetime, but I've had many, many adventures through all my lifetimes, okay? But this video is, you know, just to get to know me a little bit more, through these layers, through understanding how I express myself. So me, I'm an artist at heart. I'm a singer-songwriter. I've been writing, singing since I was like seven years old, probably before then, but I just say 7 because that's actually when I started singing in the home church that I grew up in Brainerd, Minnesota. So that's where I'm originally from. That's where my human government self is originally from, okay? But yeah, and so me, I've always been just musically inclined, and I love singing. I love, you know, music. I think music is, you know, very spiritual. It's very conscious, and it really is. It's like, it's just very powerful. And that's one of my biggest gifts, I believe, as well too, my writing. So if you really want to check out my music, go check me out on SoundCloud. So I've been changing my name as well. I'm calling myself That Ancient Artist, or Fae Empire. So it's been like a part of my transformation. So another thing I want to share is I've been on this like spiritual awakening transformation journey in the last 2 years. So my YouTube has kind of changed over time. If you go back and just look at like my older videos, you know, my beginning videos, you'll see the physical transformation, but it's so much more than that for me. It's not just about, you know, the outer appearance, right? It's the mindset, it's the spiritual self, it's just the growth overall. And even, you know, I've moved, and I've just done a lot of purging and cleansing of myself to help me become this better version of myself, but also connect to who I truly want to be, connect to my purpose, connect to where I'm going, just to connect to so many more things about the world, and just understanding, you know, at a deeper level, you know, not only myself, but others around me, and how they perceive me, but how I perceive the world. And this has always been me, right? And that's the one thing I really had to understand about myself, was I've always been this like quirky, weird. And when I say weird, I mean it in a good way. So that's another thing. When I speak, it's more of an expression. And sometimes the words, how I say the words, not other people may understand the meaning of how I understand it, right? Because to me, being weird and odd and different is a good thing. I love it. You know, I love it now, because before I used to always wanted to fit in. I used to always wanted to go with the status quo. Okay, if you haven't watched my other video, go check it out. But it's like I had to do, you know, this certain type of work, this inner work, to understand that it wasn't easy. It wasn't necessarily fun, but it was definitely worth it. And for me, you know, I've had to, you know, learn even about the certain things that I've done through this lifetime, that I've experienced, that has helped me, you know, connect to who I truly am. You know, I'm one of those individuals that I love exploring. I love learning new things. I love going on adventures, you know, and there's certain things that I really don't love to do. And even for me, like, I love being alone. I'm actually more of an introvert. I come off as an extrovert because I know how to talk to people. I know how to be around people. And I actually, like, I had a fear of living by myself, but I've pretty much been on my own since I was 19, y'all. Like, literally. I've done some training programs where I had roommates and stuff, but that's where I really learned that, okay, I actually want to live by myself now. And so for me now, you know, and I'm grateful for that. I am able to be able to do that, because not everybody is either able to do that or they believe they can't do that, right? And so I had to really work on this inner self to know that actually that works better for me. You know, I flourish better. I do better that way. And I love it. It's great. And I'm not really alone. For me, I have my Abolitious, my baby, my baby, okay? She's my cat. But for me, it's just like, and I've also learned that I'm an empath. So I'm a feeler. I sense things. Like, that's a part of my gift, my spiritual gift. And so for me, that's why I'm just, you know, I have to kind of hibernate at times. And I've understood that for myself, because when I am around a lot of people, when I get around groups of people for a long period of time, you know, especially if it's like every day, it exhausts me. It wipes the living shit out of me, literally. And I've had to learn that. And it's not that I don't like being around people. It's just, I just get exhausted because I'm an empath. I'm a feeler. I don't just feel my emotions. I feel other people's emotions too. And I'm one of those strong ones. So I consider myself a Heyoka empath. If you don't know what that is, go Google it or go watch some videos on it, because like, it's really, really something hard to explain. And if you connect with it, if you know what it is, then you understand where I'm coming from. Hopefully, because not everybody does. But for me, being a Heyoka empath, and just also, it also connects to just a lot of my experiences. So like, I've been through multiple different traumas to where it is, for me, sometimes it can get overwhelming just to connect with a person, but also even trust a person. And that's just something that I have to work on for myself. And I've been working on that because I still struggle with it. And for me, it's about the journey. It's not so much that, okay, like, I have to fix it right now, today. It's more so, you know, I gradually start to, you know, connect with people and learn their behavior, and that's why I'm such a deep individual, because I really want to understand this person on a deep level instead of just, you know, putting my trust out there. So it's like having that guard up, having the boundaries for myself, because I've been through a lot of places where I didn't really have as much of a guard up. I was more trusting than anything. And I, you know, let that guard down because I thought I could trust certain people that, you know, broke that trust, right? And so for me, I had to learn that. So, and it connects to me being an empath. You know, I feel I'm a loving person. Like, I just want to be lovey-dovey to everybody. But in this type of world and reality, you can't. I mean, you can, but it may not get you what you expect, right? And so it's both, because we're all human. We're all living this human experience. We're all understanding, you know, who works with us, who works within our energy, who gets us, because that's the one thing I also had to understand about myself, was the fact that if people think I'm too much or not enough or whatnot, that's on them, right? They're not my peoples. They're not my peoples. And that's cool. That's cool. I'm just like, okay, well, I'm going to keep moving forward until they are. And then there's individuals where they want to smother you, in a sense. I don't really like to use that word, but that's how I feel sometimes. I feel like, okay, like I need a break from you. Like you're giving me too much. And it's not that I don't like you. It's not that I don't care about you, but it's like, I need my boundaries. I need my space. I need my time, right? And so for me, you know, I had to learn all these things through these experiences, through these challenges, through these ups and downs and whatever you want to call it. And I'm grateful for each and every one of them, because it helped me learn more about myself and helped me learn how to set boundaries. And it's still helping me, because there's still times where I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing? But I do my best to have fun with it and not take things too seriously. So, you know, through this spiritual journey, you know, it's awakened me to really understand, you know, how to go about life, how to play the game, how to be a certain character in a movie, right? Because me, I'm the main character, baby. Da-da-da-da-da-da. And understanding, you know, the shadow side about myself, and, you know, the more sunnier side about myself. Because for me, I believe it connects to the yin and yang. I believe it's, you know, the light and it's dark, right? But I believe it's all divine. So it's like a triangle. It connects. It's an ace. Ooh, I think I'm getting somewhere. And that's literally what I see. You know, for me, when I see the world, when I look out, when I watch certain things with my physical eyes, is what I mean, is I see dreams, I see glitter, I see fairies. And this is not literally, but this is how I see like birds and nature and just the world in general. But it took me some time to see this. You know, it was me doing this inner work, me opening my eyes, me working on these certain, you know, practices that I do that help me, you know, cleanse, purge, because I'm still going through this transformation. And that's where I say it's a part of the journey. It's a part of the process. And that's why I say, you know, if you look at, you know, my videos, you know, that I share, you know, I'm growing, I'm elevating, I'm learning. You don't just see the physical changes, but even how I speak, how I talk, even with my music, you know, with my writing, all these different things are changing. They're evolving, right? And it's a beautiful thing. And that's why I really wanted to, 333 on the clock. Oh, that's why I really wanted to get on here and share, you know, that our journey here on earth, our journey here in this lifetime is about learning, is about exploring, is about building, and just really embracing life for what it is. Because we can focus on, you know, all these different aspects of life, whether it be negative, positive, right? And for me, I don't even like to use those terms anymore, because for me, it's like, we do need to go through negative things. We do need to go through, you know, the darker side of things to help us see the light, right? So you look at storms, you look at the rain. So right now it's raining like crazy, or it's been raining like crazy outside. And me, I love the rain, because that's a sign of cleansing. That's a sign of victory has arrived. That's a sign of so many different things, right? And that's what I've learned as well throughout my journey is, you know, when the storms come, when the rain pours, right? It's a positive thing. because we can dread it. We can look at it as a negative, right? But it's if you cleanse the lenses, right? If you open your eyes to a different perspective, you'll know that it's a good thing. You'll know that it's something that needs to happen for the sun to shine, because that's when you appreciate the sunshine more. That's why when you appreciate the birds singing, because even like in the rain, sometimes certain birds will come out and chirp. But when the sun is shining, when the skies are clear, when there's, you know, when you're able to drive and not freak out. I live in California, by the way. And so you start to appreciate, you know, the better days more. And that's why they coexist. It's just like the sun and the moon. That's why I'm really big into numerology, astrology, all these things. I don't understand. Well, let me take that back. I don't know all the terminologies and how all the planets works, right? Like, I don't know like, you watch some people and they can explain in detail how this planet connects to this planet. And for me, it makes sense, because this is why I watch, you know, certain channels or certain people talk about these things, because for me, I see it in a different way. And how I explain it is not like how other people explain it. So forgive me. But for me, it's like, I see it in my head, right? Like with the moon, the stars, like we're made up of stardust. We're a part of the universe. We are the universe. You know, God lives within us. You know, the universe lives within us, right? Very spiritual that way. And that's what I've, you know, come to learn too, you know, because I grew up religious. I grew up, considered myself a Christian. I grew up going to church. I grew up doing these things, but there was something inside of me, you know, wanting to ask more questions. And this is where like my voice, you know, it was very hard for me to speak up, you know, not only like ask certain questions, but ask the right questions and really, you know, break away from this way of living, this way of believing, this way of just, you know, staying this certain way. And I'm not saying religion is bad. I'm not saying being a Christian is bad, but it's limited, I feel. For me, I was still felt lost, you know. Yeah, I had gotten baptized like 3 times. I had, you know, tried to, you know, understand, become closer to this connection, have a better relationship with God. And it was, every time I would like have Bible study or connect with somebody, either from the church or just try and learn to understand more, it didn't make sense to me. And that's the best way I can explain it. Until I started diving more into astrology, numerology, you know, the ancient histories of different religions, different beliefs around the world. So like ancient Egyptian, like that, y'all. Okay, I got, for one, I got me a DNA test. So I always recommend people get a DNA test, because that's what really expanded my mindset in a sense too. Because for one, I was told I was white and black growing up. And obviously nothing's just white and black. There's so much more layers to that, right? And so I learned that I was pretty much everything. So I'm African, Caribbean, European. I got Asian, Chinese. I got, you know, I got Puerto Rican, I got Mexican, I got Middle Eastern, you know, I got all these mixtures inside of me in my DNA, right? And so that also sparked something within me to tap more into my Egyptian side. And so that's where I really connect with more of like Egypt and the ancient Egyptian, you know, religion and how they, you know, believed and whatnot, because they believed they were gods, right? And then, you know, I started understanding more of the Greek mythology, the Northern Celtic, all these things, because I also have Irish, I have German, I have Polish, all these different mixtures. And so once you start, you know, learning about these different cultures, these different languages, you know, and you start to also connect with certain people too. So for me, like, especially online, I connect with people that are more from, you know, different countries more than in the United States, which is very interesting. And so for me, that was kind of like just another sign to like really expand my beliefs, expand my understanding of, you know, the world and how, what really is, you know, why are we really here? You know, what really is happening? What is my purpose? Because there were so many things that I love to do that you know, there were so many things that were just going on in my mind, but there were still so many things that I felt disconnected from, that I was struggling from. It was like I would get to a certain point in my life, you know, with whether it was with a job, well, whether it was with, you know, working out and getting fit and losing weight, or, you know, connecting with people, or whatever it was, right? And I still felt stuck. I still felt limited. I still felt this, you know, energy that there's something more to me. There's something more to me. And that's where, you know, the towers started to break down and started to happen, you know, because even though I still kept fighting, I still kept, you know, just moving forward, trying to figure it out, you know, there's still things that I wasn't registering. And that's kind of like, I feel like, even though I say 2 years, 111 on the clock, even though I say 2 years ago, I started this journey, I started understanding, really, like, my spiritual journey has been going on for like so long, and it's always been right in front of my face. And that's where it's so funny, because it's like for me, like, I look back now at certain things that I've been into or been drawn to, and it's really connected. I've stepped into it more. So certain clothing styles, certain hairstyles, just certain ways of doing things. I'm like, oh, you know, how I decorate my home, stuff like that, right? And so with all that, sorry, this video is kind of just a lot, but I want to emphasize on like just the journey in itself, right? And there's so much to it, right? So much to it to where we can stay limited. We can stay in a place of, okay, well, we feel something within ourselves, right? We think we know ourselves because we've done this certain thing forever, right? And that was me. It's like, you know, part of me was like, oh, I think I know who I am, but I never really asked myself that question. And so now it's like, even though we know who we are, even though I know who I am, I'm still elevating. I'm still growing. I'm still, you know, learning new things about myself. I'm still taking a risk and just, you know, venturing out into the world of the unknown. And that's what I've always done. You know, that's just always been me, this quirky, you know, free-spirited gypsy. You know, I definitely am like a gypsy spirit, y'all. And I love it. And it's all these little things that I've started to understand about myself, right? Throughout this journey, throughout this life, through my experiences, through my challenges. When I say experiences, I actually mean like everything. So I'm talking good, you know, and challenging experiences. If we want to, you know, look at it that way, good and bad, right? You know, for me, like even when I, you know, did military training and a firefighter, like it was a great experience, but it wasn't for me. And that's why I didn't do it for so long, you know, but it was something that I'm grateful that I did. I challenged myself to do because I was going through a lot at that time. And I was young. I was, you know, trying to figure it out. But I'm super grateful that I did it, because a lot of these experiences has helped me, shown me today, like who I really am today. You know, I'm strong. I'm very powerful. I have a lot of resilience, you know. I'm this overcomer. I have a lot of wisdom. I have a lot of strength, right? And that's what I want people to look at within themselves, is, you know, their experiences, you know, certain things they've gone through in their life that they've overcome. Because sometimes in our mind we can dwell on the past in a negative way and stay in that place, right? Instead of focusing on how we lived through it, we got through it. Now we want to choose to heal from it and move forward on to the next, right? With whatever that is. Because that's one thing I'm learning right now is like, I've gone through a lot of experiences. I've lived through a lot of experiences. And now that I've overcome a lot, you know, now that I'm continuing to move forward, I'm still here, I'm still alive, you know, it's just understanding my purpose and continuing to move forward, taking the steps, even though I don't really know exactly where they're going to lead me to. But I know it's greatness, because I know I'm already great. I know I'm a masterpiece. I know I'm very gifted. I know I'm very spiritual. I know I'm being guided by the universe. And I know my spirit guides are always protecting me and always right next to me. And I know, I know, you know, it's that inner feeling, that empathic part of me, that Heyoka part of me, right? That spiritual connection, right? And it's so awesome. It's so awesome. And for me, it's like I get emotional almost, to where it's like I want others to feel this. I want others to feel this intenseness within myself, because it's just so powerful. And that's what I mean by power. It's like, you know, you've done the work, you know, you've gotten to a point in your life, right, to where you know who the fuck you are, and you just keep elevating, you keep showing up, you keep going, and now it's flow. It's just flow. It's not a fight. It's not hard. It's fun, you know? And that's why I say, look at life as a game. You know, if you play video games, or if you like to watch movies, or if you know, whatever it is, right? Just look at life as like a game. At least that's what I do, you know? Okay, here's a challenge that I might have to fight. I might have to, you know, beat around the bush now. But it's similar to that, right? We look at life as a game, or we look at life as a movie, as a character, and just play it. You know, depending on what movie, what you're into. Because if you're in a horror movie, please don't be the serial killer, okay? You know, if you're the serial killer in the movie, like you got some things. You got some things to work on, okay? But even so, y'all, everybody is here for a reason, you know? And for me, I don't like to judge people because of the certain things they've done, the certain things they've been through, the certain things their opinion and how they view the world, because that's not going to help me, but it's not also going to help them, right? And for me, it's more so, it's like, okay, I see you, right? I see you, I see how you is. And if I can help, I will. But at the same time, if I feel called to help, I will. But if it's not for me, then I continue to move on. And so for me, I've learned so much through this journey, through this understanding of connecting with people, speaking to people, you know, speaking to myself, loving myself, understanding myself, and how to really just continue and to enjoy life as is. And so, y'all, that's you know, this video, like, I was not expecting all that. I was expecting just for me to, like, you know, share some like little details about myself, which I did, but it wasn't really a little, like this and I be doing that because I know I can, like, for me, that's a really big thing I've learned about myself, is when I express myself, it's not in no one sentence or two, right? I'm a storyteller, and I like to express myself in a way where it's deep, you know, it's poetic. It's where, like, there's many layers to me, right? And it's really, when you're having a conversation, for me, it's not always going to be quick. If it is, you know, it's just a hi or bye kind of quick, right? Or how are you? You know, but even that, like me, I want to really know how you are. I don't want you to be like, oh, I'm fine. And so that's part of my essence. That's just who I am. Because when somebody asks me how I'm doing, and I'm not doing so well, I'm gonna tell them. You know, I feel that's so crucial, to be able to speak to someone and really share how we're really doing in a way, right? Because we may be able to offer some support or some help, you know, to that person. And if we're not, then, you know, that's where you continue to move forward, right? And for me, obviously, because I'm still talking, but it's deeper. It's deeper, and there's so much to me that people don't still know about. And even with recording this video, you know, the multiple videos that I've recorded, the multiple ways I express myself, whether it's through my music, you know, in so many different ways, you know. And that's just, I believe, for anyone. You know, you can try to get to know somebody by just meeting with them a couple times. But for me, it's you really have to sit down with a person and, you know, really truly get to know this person over time. And it takes time to get to know a person. That's why, you know, with relationships, connections, like you really want to not just understand what a person likes to eat or what favorite color, you know, or, you know, what kind of music they're into. It's like, how do they think? How do they see the world? You know, what do they want for their future? And I've always asked this question, and it's so funny because it's like, okay, what are some of your goals? Like, what are some of your hobbies? What are the little things that nobody knows really about you? Because that's when you start to really connect with people. That's when you start to have those deeper conversations with people. And you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Because I think I said this in my other video. You know, not a lot of people know that I'm an artist, a music artist. And it's funny. And then once they start listening to my music, they're like, oh, you're actually good. So you'd be surprised on what you can really truly know about a person when you sit down and really, you know, listen to their heart, listen to their mind, listen to what they want you to know. Because sometimes we can get so caught up and distracted with other things that we're truly not listening to what people are actually really telling us. Because we can say certain things with our words, but it's about our presence, right? It's about our energy. It's about our body language. So that's another thing. You know, I've gone to school for criminal justice. I've, you know, learned certain things with having these, you know, awesome experiences about, you know, just learning how language, you know, speaking to someone, you know, it's not just about, you know, having a conversation, right? It's really listening to where they're coming from, whether they're fidgeting, whether they're, you know, having that eye contact. Because even for me, like, I've worked with people with intellectual disabilities. So some of these individuals aren't verbal. Sometimes you can't have an actual conversation with them, right? My brother, he actually has autism. And so sometimes you have to really be patient, have that patience to sit with a person and really, really engage with them, right? Like right now, I'm engaged with you. I'm here, I'm present, I'm in the moment. And start to understand how this person works, how this person, you know, really, really connects. You know, make this person feel comfortable. Because you may feel comfortable, but this other person may not. And so there's something to that, right? And so there's so many different layers to us that we don't see. And so it's really just really sitting with a person, your friend, you know, your family, even your animal, because animals speak to us, right? And so just really just listening and taking that time to get to know somebody, get to know yourself, get to know how you work, how you see the world, how your perception is, right? And it's such a beautiful, beautiful experience. And I'm so grateful. I'm grateful for this journey. I'm grateful for whoever watches this video, takes the time to watch this video, because yes, it's some time. But at the end of the day, you're meant to be here, right? You're meant to be here. This video was drawn to you for a reason. So I thank you. I thank you for watching this to the end. If so, you know, if you haven't already, please check out my music on SoundCloud. It's Faye Empire, that ancient artist. It's one of those things, right? But the link is in my bio. And so if you feel called, you know, just, you know, like, comment, or share this video as well too, because I really appreciate y'all's support and just, you know, the views and whatnot, because I feel like, you know, my messages, you know, my expression and how I express myself and just the way I see the world, you know, I really want to connect with more individuals, you know, that are ready to connect, are ready to, you know, inspire and step into who they truly are meant to be, because that's what I'm here for. That's, you know, my big purpose is to really, you know, help others, to illuminate others, to just better themselves, to grow, to see the world in a different light, and to shine as bright as they can. And just, even if it's not shining, right, it's just living their best life, doing things that make them feel good within themselves and make them feel happy, you know, and just understanding, you know, the challenges and the struggles that they've been through, that they can overcome them as well too, because anything is possible, right? And everything is connected, and everything happens for a fucking reason, baby. So thank you for wherever you are, you know, morning, night, evening. I appreciate you. Y'all have a wonderful, 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 beautiful day. Thanks. Peace.